Live. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to begin the Thursday, April 14th Spokane Park Board meeting. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you. The roll call, I completed it. So far, we are just missing Hannah, who may chime in later. And Kevin Brownlee is absent, excused. He was feeling under the weather. So everyone else is here, and I want to officially welcome our new park board member, Christina Verhule. I have to say, Christina got more press than any park board member has in the past 15 years. And in fact, I even heard from some past park board members, what's up with all this press for Christina? How come she rates? And I never got any, and these people aren't even on the park board anymore. So, Councilmember Bingle will be joining us a little bit late. But anyway, welcome, Christina. So any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on. Any public comment? Actually, don't really see any public members here. I want to thank both Chris and Pamela for hosting us and getting us organized today. And we'll move on to the consent agenda. Park board members, you see 5 items in front of you on the consent agenda. Does any park board member wish something removed for discussion? Hearing none, I'll make a motion that all 5 pieces of the consent agenda be adopted as presented. Is there a second?
I can second that.
This is Barb, second.
Oh, great. Well, we have 2 seconds. That's double trouble. And all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Wait.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? All right, the consent agenda passes as presented. I don't believe we have any special guests today, but Mark Buning probably has something to say in terms of finances.
I do. Good afternoon, everybody. Boy, we're jumping right in today, aren't we? All right, let me share my screen. All right, everybody see that all right? It's hard to believe the first quarter of the year is already completed. So, but I wanted a couple of preliminary remarks or a couple things to keep in mind as we move through the financial report here. And so I want to remind everybody, these current year financials are being compared to a budget based on a 2-year prior average. We take an average of the past 2 years and apply that to the current year's budget. And we know that the last 2 years have been sort of anything but typical. And we will see here, particularly in the park fund, the 2022 actual expenditures and revenues will both be higher than that budgeted average. And this is because this reflects kind of a much more of a typical year as parks activities, particularly with recreation, Riverfront Park, resume, more normal levels of activity. And then there's also been a catch up on maintenance activities and projects and things that were somewhat deferred the last couple of years because of financial uncertainty and just for a lot of reasons we held back on some of those expenditures. So people weren't just allowed to go out and sort of spend whatever they wanted. And I also want to point out too that the rapid inflation that we've all been enduring has had a noticeable impact on our level of expenditures, particularly on things like building materials, utilities. We're seeing that particularly in gas and electricity and also any type of equipment purchases. So those are all just a few little things to kind of keep in mind as we move forward. So at any point, I'm going to kind of click through this. If anybody has any questions, please just interrupt and let me know if there's any concerns or questions as I move through here. So let's see here. All right, our first slide here. We see a comparison of our 2022 actual expenditures through the first quarter with the historical budget average. We see that, of course, as I mentioned, that those actuals are above the budget, and they're above the budget by about 7% or about $239,000. Year-to-date expenditures are about $483,000 more than in 2021 through that first quarter, reflecting again that greater level of program activity. But, again, recall first quarter of 2021 was still there was a lot of uncertainty and we still weren't fully active. We were pretty well in sort of a holding pattern in that first year. So that's of course being reflected in these numbers. So then moving on to looking at our revenues, we see our year-to-date revenues compared to the average. Actual revenues exceed the budget average by about $246,000. And then comparing to last year, 2022 revenues exceed 2021 by about $522,000. So again, big increase in revenues primarily because our general fund increased, but also greater activity in recreation and Riverfront Park where that revenue is really being reflected. And then our last slide, we see a comparison of year-to-date revenues to year-to-date expenditures. And we see that total revenues exceed total revenue or total expenditures by about $1.7 million. Now, it was almost exactly the same in 2021. Exceeded total expenditure in last year right about the same amount. And if you look at the 2022 total revenues over expenditures, our net profit, so to speak, or our net revenues, it's only about $38,000 greater than last year. So we're right about on the same track. So even though we've had higher expenditures, we've got higher revenues, and they sort of net out to be the same as we were last year. So any questions or concerns before I move on to the Gulf Fund? Okay. Looking at the Gulf Fund, we see that year-to-date expenditures are actually below the historical budget average by about $12,000. Actual year-to-date expenditures actually are about $32,000 more at the same time last year, but because we're applying that average to a higher budget, we increased the budget for 2022. The budget is looking a little higher. In other words, the average percentage is being applied to a larger base. So even though our actual expenditures are a little bit higher than last year, it's below the budgeted, the average of what we were spending the last couple of years. So, that's being reflected and catching that budget up a little bit in the 2022 budget. And here, actual revenues are below the historical budget by about $47,000. Again, for that same reason. Total revenues are about the same as last year. And we also see the same issue. The revenues were increased in the 2022 budget, so the historical budget average is going to be nominally higher because we're applying it to a larger base. So it's the same percentage, and again, that higher base. But when we look at revenues compared to expenditures, we see the comparison of total revenues to actual expenditures. And we see expenditures have, we see that revenues have exceeded expenditures by about $168,000. And this does include the facility improvement fee, keep in mind. And, but overall, the total year-to-date revenues over expenditures, our net revenue, is about $35,000 less than last year at this time, reflecting some of the weather that we've had, I believe, in the last, since the courses have opened, sort of kept some of our number of rounds down. But for all practical purposes, we're very, very close to where we were last year at the same point in time. Any questions about the Gulf Fund? All right. Then the last slide, again, is just a depiction of where we are with the bond fund. We have a balance that's left after expenditures and encumbrances of about $90,000. Very little activity in it the first quarter of the year so far. So that concludes the financial report. If there's any questions or anything?
Any questions? That bond is just slimming down. It's good to see.
Yeah, it's
That's what we're supposed to do, spend that
That's
money
right.
the right way. All right. we're going to move
Mark,
Thank
Mark,
you.
I have a question, Mark.
Yes.
On the bond, does that include the interest earned to date?
No, this is just merely comparing it to that budget that was adopted in 2020.
Thank you.
All right. right, Park Board members, we have, first of all, thank you, Mark. And we
Thank
do
you.
have a few special action items today. The first is an update we hope that the City Council will approve to the Spokane Municipal Code, talking about terms on various boards. With regard to the Park Board, our charter is unusually written, and it has some really specific language about time and date of when terms expire. And so to be more consistent with that, we have proposed some language additional to the Spokane Municipal Code. So I will read where it is now and then what we propose to add. Currently, the SMC 4.01030 reads, unless otherwise specifically prohibited by the document creating it, the appointment to the City Board, Commissioner, or agency, the incumbent members appointed by the City Council shall continue to serve and remain a voting member beyond the expiration of his or her term until the replacement member has been appointed and assumed the position. So the proposed language change that we're recommending, actually it now reads 11.015, so I'll leave it to the legal beagles to figure that out. Anyway, it reads as follows: notwithstanding any other provision of law, a Park Board member whose term has expired may not continue to serve after expiration of his or her term. So, again, this is just to be more consistent with the already very specific wording in our charter. So the motion before you is to move to approve the proposed language to the SMC and to have it presented to City Council for approval. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, I will move that we approve this. And all those in favor say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Now, as you know, in March, we usually vote on our committee assignments. And Christina, having come on just this month, but also having already served in a member-at-large capacity on the DVC, made it known to me very quickly that she would like to continue serving on that committee, and what she's doing is laterally sliding into the empty Park Board seat. So we have before you a motion to appoint Christina Verheuel to the Development and Volunteer Committee as a Park Board member. All those in favor, or excuse me, got to have a second to that motion first.
I'll second that, Jennifer.
I have 3 seconds. Great. Okay. All those in favor say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Oop. All right. Great. Those ayes sometimes come in a little bit late as an echo, but that's okay. We know what you mean. All right. And now, Barry, this is the most adorable part of the entire meeting. Barry has an update for us.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. Here, I'll share my, your agenda. And I'm just going to click on the dog park update. And this is a beautiful little rat terrier. And I have a rat terrier, too. We'll see some pictures probably pretty soon. But the dog park at Riverfront Spokane. So it's a gift from the Humane Society to celebrate their 125th anniversary, which is fantastic here in Spokane. They're looking at a location on Havermill Island, which is in the heart of Riverfront Park. You can see the image there shows the river flowing in and around Havermill and creating the space not only for the dog park, but our lilac bowl, the clock tower meadow, and of course the U.S. Pavilion. Down on the bottom portion of the screen is the forestry shelter, which is already there and will serve as a wonderful canopy and entry into the dog park. This is a view from the other side. As you know, it's a little dated, but it has really good bones. This structure. It's over 4,000 square feet. There's electrical there. There's water. There's sewer. There's hardly anything else you could ask for in terms of utilities to the spot. So I think that it's got a lot of wonderful potential. But it not only encompasses this spot, but a significant portion of land in Riverfront Park that we would certainly fence and have an off-leash dog park, and that is what the Humane Society gave to. I'm going to jump in a little bit. Oh, this is Poppy, by the way. So we made a press release. This was done by Fiona, and it's fantastic on our website at SpokaneCity.org. The Humane Society donates $250,000 towards the dog park, which is absolutely amazing. These guys, I couldn't help but have them. And then also on top of that, Fiona created a survey with our design team, which actually includes NAC architects and AHBL landscape architects, some of the finest outfits in Spokane, to help with the visioning and the schematics and illustrations of what the potential is in the dog park in Riverfront Park. But she put together a survey to gather public input. Now, as of, I think it was 1:30 today, we received almost 1,500 responses to the survey. So we're gathering a lot of data, a lot of input. I'm going to run you through a few of those. Oh, this is Scooter, by the way. The survey starts with an overview of the park site, and with that is a nice map that kind of shows where parking is in relation to the dog park, where usable or ADA approved restrooms are in relation to the dog park. Of course, we can always, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to make some nice restrooms at the dog park itself. But just to give the public a basic orientation to the project, we're asking how many days they're planning on visiting and what times and whatnot. This helps our designers craft a really good idea and plan for how people enter the park, where they're entering from, where they're going. And there's a lot more questions than just that one, but some of them include just aesthetic options. Do we want a natural landscape, a contemporary landscape, even something more formal in Riverfront Park for our dog park? Surfacing ideas, is pea gravel really beneficial over sand or natural turf, or is synthetic turf the way to go? So we're looking for feedback from our public on that, or should I say, our neighbors. We're looking for, because we all are in this together, and then also equipment. Should it be logs and boulders and natural elements? Should it be manufactured equipment off of a vendor's website for agility and whatnot? Or can we do a combination of both? Oh, this little guy couldn't help either. Excuse me. Fiona put together an outreach plan along with Spokane Parks Foundation and staff and our designers. Right now, we're in the April 5th to April 15th, of course, timeline, which is where we do the public survey. So this is an open forum prioritizing design amenities. After that, we're going to move into concept development, some cost estimating, and then we're going to do some public meetings and workshops. We can do some design work, refine those through May and the beginning of June, ultimately unveiling a potential design for the dog park on June 18th, which is when our Parade of Paws is. So the Parks Foundation is raising money. They've already secured a tremendous gift from the Humane Society, but if you go to their website, it pops right up, the dog park update, and it gives you an idea of what's going on and then also where to donate. I put some little arrows there in case you couldn't tell where to donate, and it takes you right to this page, and where there's several projects that can be given to, but I put a little red arrow that goes down to the Riverfront Dog Park. So please pick that one and give a little cash because this is going to be an amazing, amazing project. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions about the project, and thank you for allowing me to be here to present to you today.
Well, we all love to see pictures of puppies, so you just made our day, especially on such a dreary day. Park Board members, any questions for Barry? I just wanted to make a comment. I received a query earlier today from a member of the public asking how this possibly relates to the South Hill Dog Park. And I wanted to say that this is not intended to be a replacement for the South Hill Dog Park. In fact, this predates the South Hill Dog Park issue by almost 7 years, going back to the 2014 master planning process in which people were looking at how to upgrade Riverfront Park. Dog parks were something that the public indicated they wanted, and that's why, and I think you'll agree with me, Terry, this became part of one of those tiered projects, one of those campaign priorities, and that predates any sort of South Hill controversy about dog parks. So this is not intended to be that replacement. It is intended to meet some of those wishes.
That's really absolutely correct, Jennifer. And we are taking extra steps. Fiona is very diligent in how she guides us through the public relations process with some of these initiatives that we have. And we are very clear, we're trying to be very transparent with folks that this is not intended to be a replacement. And Barry, thank you so much. There's really no reason for me. I've got you so well trained at this point. There's no reason for me to even talk about what is out there. I also would like to, before I have to jump off and head to my next event this afternoon, I really would like to take this opportunity and thank Fiona for all of her efforts in working just so tirelessly with our friends in the media. We have gotten so much great media coverage over the past few days, couple of weeks, and really and truly, it hats off to Fiona and her team. Josh Morrissey is the one who crafted the survey, and back and forth, and of course everyone has opinions, and he did a beautiful job of filtering each and every one of those and making everyone feel just really good about the process. So once again, City of Spokane team, an absolute class act and a pleasure to work with.
Thank you, Terry.
Oh, and did I see another comment? Maybe Mr. Bingle. Councilmember Bingle, thank you for joining us.
Sorry, I was saying hi to Councilmember Wilkerson as she was walking by.
Okay. I thought you were raising your hand to speak, just like in school. All right. Well trained. Very good. All right. Any other comments? Hearing none, we will regretfully leave the puppies behind and move on down the agenda. So it'll be a tough act to follow. So as I mentioned earlier, Kevin Brownlee is feeling a little under the weather today, and so I'm going to be presenting for him. I did attend the April 5th meeting via WebEx of Urban Forestry, and Ted Hensel gave a great overview of his GIS project that merges the city GIS maps with tree inventory data. And the merge shows locations of existing trees, available planting locations by tree class or size, as well as overall shade coverage throughout the city. That was a great map. It really showed the density of some coverage versus the sort of paler areas indicating less coverage. Ted's almost done with his mapping north of the river and will continue south of the river with his work. His maps will provide a great outreach tool and planning tool for urban forestry as it moves forward. Katie Kosanke reported on the trees lost in the April 4th windstorm, as well as some planting partnerships in underrepresented neighborhoods, including Bemis Elementary School, where 1,000 seedlings will be given away on Earth Day as a part of a tree symposium. We all like planting trees. And then the meeting closed with a quick brainstorming about the direction of this committee, proposing an assessment of urban forestry's involvement with inspections and permitting on non-park and non-city property, as well as assessing inspection and permitting fees for other functions. So the next meeting for urban forestry will be May 3rd at 4:15 via WebEx, but maybe that will change someday. All right, Jerry Sperling, golf.
Oh, hi, Jennifer and others. Can you hear me all right? Okay, great. We have been busy in golf with a variety of things, and of course,
despite the weather. March really brought everybody out, and the numbers are just amazing. But what we'd like to do today is we have some new board members, and just a reminder that we are finishing up our third irrigation project down at Downriver Golf Course. So with that, Nick Hammond is going to introduce some things with some visuals for us. So I will ask Nick if he will take it away from here.
Very happy to oblige that, Jerry. Thank you for having me here today. Happy to present to you today. We're over in Bellevue today for the Washington Parks and Recreation Association conference. So coming from the hotel room, hopefully everything comes in loud and clear, and talk about a fun group of people, by the way. But Downriver Irrigation Project is the third of 3 planned irrigation renovations within our system. This is approximately $3 million project. We are about 3/4 of the way done. We started last fall, and we are working toward completion here. About mid-May is when we expect that to be completed. We have 10 holes of the golf course completely installed and on the new system. We're completing about 2 holes a week. When I say we, I mean our golf course contractor, Heritage Links. And there is another project that is on the course at the same time, which is the stormwater pipe, which is a great partnership between our City of Spokane Utilities Division and Parks and Recreation. And I'll go over that here in a moment. But one of the key details is that it has combined 2 projects with both their own separate disturbance to the public into one larger project, only disturbing the public at one time. And we did allow an easement across the golf course for about a $400,000 contribution from utilities to this project. So the golf course work would not be happening without utilities. The red line you see on the screen, if you're familiar with Downriver Golf Course, is the stormwater pipe going through the course. It was planned to go in the roadway around the course, and we just, through our partnership, really pushed to have it come through the landscaped area of the course underground as an effort to save having to dig up more roads. That saves them money. They can give a portion of those savings to us. It's a win-win. So that's a wonderful partnership, again, with utilities. Some images of our mainline piping going in throughout the golf course. This is that larger stormwater pipe. This is a 30-inch diameter pipe with quite a lot of water planned to be moving through it as a part of that work. Anytime you see a bulldozer on a golf course, it's kind of a scary thing, but also I think it worked out well for us. Our contractors have cleaned that all up with the topsoil being placed here, and we're planning to sod this area on Monday. So our golfing public should have less disruption, and we should be minimizing that stormwater impact for them even this next week. Some more irrigation components installed by our crews, quite large pipes for sprinkler systems, as sprinkler systems go. I think we froze up here for a second. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Looks like PowerPoint or Adobe or one of those is frozen, but we're going to try and keep moving on here. Hold on one moment. We'll try and reshare. It's never a good park board without a little bit of an uneventful freeze up. There we go.
There we go.
So for the water conservation interests in the room, there is a dedicated weather station that's been involved on this golf course that we anticipate saving about 20% of the volume of water that we use to irrigate the course. After installing this system and having done 3 courses on average each year, we will save 1 golf course worth of water in total out of each of the 3. So that's a huge amount of water. We're talking about 50 million gallons a year. That's somewhere on the order of 750 houses worth of water. So that's a big deal for us. So really cool to see that. Just some general photos of us digging up the course. We do this work 1 hole at a time, and the contractor digs up. You can see how they concentrate work on 1 hole. So we play 18 holes all the way around it. So we keep the course open as this work happens. Some of the plowing work here, pulling in new pipe and wire, a very smart system, so to speak. Irrigation heads going in. And then when we're done, you can see this is, as they finish 1 day later, you're out there playing golf again on a hole. So that's a really efficient process. And of course, being able to water the high value portions of our course on the new system is a thing of beauty to our superintendents. You see some of the debris on the side here. All amidst this, the windstorm did not damage the new system, and just about as fast as that stuff falls down, Ben Nelson and his crew picked it back up and got it out of there. So big thanks to them making sure that happened. So that's the overview on Downriver Golf Course. You probably know more about irrigation now than you want to know. Any questions?
No, I'd like to thank you, Nick. You know, I just don't think too many park board members have been out to Downriver to check it out. So this is saving everybody a trip. And I think it's really important that they realize that we are doing this in conjunction with another entity within the Parks and Rec system and land. With that, too, I would like Mark Poirier to join in. I think all of us realize how many trees and limbs and debris we've had over the last few months. And the golf courses did not escape. But Mark's going to just bring us up to date a little bit and let you know how we've got everything cleaned up. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. So I'll give a little update on Windstorm 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. I don't know which one we're on now, but yeah, we got hit Monday, April 4th with extreme high winds, which caused all 4 of the golf courses to close, actually, due to safety concerns. Can't have any public patrons out there golfing when we have full-size pines coming down. So we closed that day around 3:30, kind of evacuated everybody out of the golf course there due to safety concerns. In terms of tree losses, downriver, we lost 12 trees there, 8 live pines and 4 dead ones. We lost 2 toppers, which is just the top portion of the tree snapping off. And then we also identified 3 compromised trees that were also taken care of. And those compromised trees just are trees that may be partially uprooted or leaning, say, more than 30 degrees each way that we deem to be unsafe. At Indian Canyon, we lost 2 pines and 1 dead tree, and also identified 2 more compromised trees. But I can tell you, as of today, Downriver Golf Course is cleaned up. That includes the root balls and debris. Only thing left is to fill the voids, the holes that the root balls left, and I actually ordered some soil for that today as well. So that'll be all taken care of and buttoned up by, probably Monday. I would say Monday we'll have the majority of that filled in. Like you never knew it was there. So, and in terms of Qualton and Esmeralda, we didn't lose any trees, but we experienced massive amounts of branches and various debris that were blown onto the golf course, which require staff, extensive time to clean up. I'd also like to just thank the park operations crew, Al's team, for the help, and also Urban Forestry with a whole team effort in getting this job completed. It almost seemed like we were we're kind of veterans now when it comes to this natural disaster cleanup. So it was a good thing to see those guys come to action and work as a team together with maintenance staff. So that was really good to see.
Mark, did we also have Land Expressions come in and help us again with the root ball?
We did.
Okay.
We did.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we tried to get Dave Nelson in at one time to personally thank him, but of course he passes that off to his crew. And they are just an awesome bunch. So
Yes.
Anyway, we are hopefully Monday or Tuesday, we'll have a little more sunshine and we're ready for golf. With that, we are going to meet in golf again on March 10th. And as usual, we'd love to skip WebEx, but right now I will just say we are meeting by WebEx and we will start at 8 o'clock in the morning. So hope to see you there. Thanks again, Nick and Mark. Really appreciate your time.
And hopefully by May 10th, it will in fact be warmer. Otherwise, golfing in snowsuits is a thing.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we have our fingers crossed, Jennifer.
Very good. So, Land Committee, Greta.
So, yeah, Land Committee met on April 7th, and we had 4 action items, 3 of which were on the consent agenda. If you haven't yet, you may want to look at the information on the interesting and cool equipment that we're purchasing. And we brought one action item to the full board, which is the Gonzaga University donation memorandum of understanding for the Don Cardon Bridge overlook. In the amount of $50,000, but it's really a larger donation than that. And Nick, I believe, has a presentation for us on the memorandum. Also, what's happening with the bridge as far as the overlook.
Yeah, happy to give you an update there, Greta. This is a wonderful partnership in our eyes as staff, and we've been coordinating with Chuck Murphy, the Chief Strategy Officer at Gonzaga University. He was with us at Land Committee. He's got a conflict today, but has been really wonderful to work with here. And so, as you know, we've been really chomping at the bit to repair and renovate and restore the Don Cardon Bridge. And as a part of that, we've got base renovations. The image you see to the right here of a clean, new bridge deck with nice new handrails and new lighting, and not a lot of extras on top of that, just because of the cost of doing these sorts of improvements. And so we've been searching for partners, and Gonzaga is one of them that we have found to add improvements, which you'll see here in a minute. The agreement is structured such that the Parks Department would still own and maintain the bridge. Of course, the Gonzaga, being a willing partner, would help partner for what you see in this image, which is a large overlook, which looks downstream toward, I think, Lake Arthur, the old log pond there on Gonzaga's campus. And the idea here is that the Parks Department would construct that one large overlook for a cost of approximately $115,000, and that we would fabricate as a part of this work and install on that overlook an interpretive display of the history of Gonzaga University, and it may or may not include their logo. Certainly have that option. We would maintain this overlook in the same frequency and capacity we maintain the remainder of the bridge. In exchange for that, Gonzaga's responsibilities would be to contribute $50,000 in cash toward the overlook construction, about approximately just a little less than 50% of the cost of the overlook, and that Gonzaga would also provide in-kind construction staging easement. So that orange box you see there, of course, we need an area for our crews to lay down, to park their equipment, store their materials, and stage out of. And that estimated area, based off of a recent valuation, was approximately $72,000 we would need to pay Gonzaga should they be willing to charge that to us. And they're going to give us that easement for a cost of $1. So in total, the contribution agreement is approximately $122,000. That's just about 100% of what we estimate that overlook to cost. That also includes Gonzaga's interpretive display. So Gonzaga themselves would design that display, and they would come to the park board with a proposal on that front, and then more on that here in a second. You can see that staging area in orange. This is largely a turf area just south of the soccer fields and east and north of the law school, west of the law school at Gonzaga. It is essential for us to be able to utilize this space to complete this project. It does represent significant savings for us, and we, of course, will restore this area after disturbance from construction as a part of this contract. So some miscellaneous items. Any interpretive display that would be produced by Gonzaga, designed by their team, would be subject to the art policy and presented to the park board prior to adoption, so that we make sure that whatever it is that's proposed is approved by this group prior to being constructed. The city would indemnify Gonzaga. We would hold them harmless from the city's use, management, and maintenance of the overlook, and that is common for this sort of agreement for us, and except for any claims resulting from an act of their own, should there be any of those acts. The lifespan of the agreement is proposed to be 50 years, which is the lifespan of the design life of the improvement itself, to match those two. And that's the gist of that agreement. Are there any comments, questions, concerns?
Hey, I have a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. So, who valued that easement at 72,000?
So the valuation is based off of, between Gonzaga and Parks, we did not hire and conduct a fair market valuation there, council member. What we did do is utilize a 2021 fair market valuation for that same area by STA that was utilized for a project last year. So we used a square foot valuation that was determined by STA and then estimated the cost of that easement using that. So it's not exact. It gives us a ballpark there, and that's the valuation we used.
And how comparable are those lot sizes? Was one very small and one much larger, or were they comparable?
Our size of area is roughly a third larger than what was the area utilized by STA. So it's not like we're taking a 5,000 square foot area and applying it to, an acre, but it's slightly larger.
And the $115,000 estimated construction cost for the overlook, is that with the updated cost of materials and everything, or is that a previous number?
Yeah, so there was one change. The 115 was the estimate. The actual cost that was bid by the contractor was $120,000. So we know for a fact that if we accept the constructing contract with the low bidder, $120,000 would be the total cost we would pay for that.
For the overlook?
Correct.
Alrighty. And so then was the amount that they decided to give in cash with that easement valuation, was the point to get it above how much the overlook was going to cost us at the point there?
The park board policy for donation requires at least a 75% contribution to the improvement, and so that would qualify them for naming rights, which they're not actually asking for in this case. We're not going to name this the Gonzaga Bridge. It's going to remain the Don Cardong Bridge. But yes, so we did want to compare those two, and our goal as staff was to at least get halfway there with cash, right? We wanted to have someone help us fund half of this added improvement and then try and bridge the gap on our own for the remainder.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other?
I see another question from Christina.
Yes, can you just share the timeline or approximate timeline for the project?
Sure. So we have construction bids in hand today, Christina. They were higher than we expected, but we are planning and certainly working toward proceeding with this project regardless of that additional expense. That would be a approximate May construction start of this year. And the contractor is required to be physically complete and open to the public prior to April 1 of 2023. What we are hearing from the contractor is that they think they can get it done within this year. They really want to get out of there for winter and be done and just turn it over and maybe some knickknacking in the spring, but they don't want to have to overwinter the project. So assuming we can award a contract here in late April or early May, we expect to be done right around year end.
Thank you.
Good question, Christina. Way to jump in, gal. All right. Anything
Any
else?
more questions for Nick?
Yeah, I have to say this is the Nick Hammett hour.
We don't want that. I apologize.
In that case, I would like to move to approve the Gonzaga University donation memorandum of understanding for the Don Cardong Bridge large overlook. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And as far as additional discussion, I did want the group to know that at Land Committee, we discussed that it's important that the Don Cardong Bridge remains the Don Cardong Bridge and doesn't become the Gonzaga Bridge, and everyone's aware of that. Any more items for discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the question. All in favor, say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Also, yes, thank you for your presentation, Nick. And we also had a couple discussion items at Land Committee. One of them was the land and Spokane Parks Natural Lands Master Plan schedule for completion. And I see that I think on Monday, Garrett sent a 90% draft out to park board members. And the schedule that we discussed at Land Committee is that we would bring this before the park board in May, correct? Nick?
We discussed a briefing for the park board in May with action, formal adoption in June.
In June. So be ready for that. And it's also still out for public comment as well, correct?
That's correct.
The other item, go ahead.
Sorry, Greta, I'm sorry for the interruption. It's not quite out for public comment yet, but it will be shortly.
It will shortly be out for public comment. Great, thank you. That was Fiona, right? Thanks, Fiona. So be looking for that coming up here before we know it. It's a great document. I suggest you give it a read if you haven't already. The other item we talked about was a citywide dog park selection, design, and operation guidelines, which is a little bit different, I guess, than the one that Barry presented earlier in this meeting. However, it is the same AHPL consultant that's helping with that as I understand it. And I would say if anybody has questions about that, they can contact Nick. And the next regularly scheduled Land Committee meeting is 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday, May 4th. Once again, still via WebEx.
Thank you, Greta.
Sure.
Well done. All right, Sally, Recreation.
Hi, everyone. Recreation met. We did not have any action items, but we always have a lot of important things that we talk about. And there's two topics. One is the sports field improvement fee that I think Jason Conley, I think he's here, was going to cover. And then the other, Jason, if you don't mind, I might do the recreation report. I think Ryan had to get off, but I'd like to do that while it's a little quiet in my background, if you don't mind, and then I'm going to turn that over. Jason, are you here?
Yes, I'm here by all means. You're up first.
Good, thank you so much. All right. So the recreation report, I just want to cover a couple of highlights that it's just this team continues to do such amazing work, and I don't ever want to pass an opportunity up to give some kudos in that direction. But just some high-level areas that I'd like to cover right now is this is a preliminary report was presented at our meeting for Q1. Outdoor recreation was up by 8 programs and 151 participants. Wellness was up 6 programs and 62 registrations. Corbin Arts Center was up 44 programs and 261 registrations. TRS was up 2 programs and 146 registrations. And then winter volleyball was not offered. And winter adult flag football was up 1 team and 38 participants. So this is all in comparison to Q1 of 2021. And then outdoor rec continues to have some great partnerships with Spokane Nordic Ski Association, Fitness Fanatics, 49 Degrees North, and Friends of Mount Spokane. They also hosted 30 Chaz employees for a snowshoeing event. I think the Chaz employees want to get their clients out to do some of this outdoor rec for mental health reasons and fitness reasons. In addition, they hosted 31 cross-country ski lessons, 70 snowshoe tours. So there's some great things. The podium, the athletics, the highest spring registration of volleyball in history with over 100 teams at the podium. Spring softball is sold out with 113 teams. The NFL flag football has 110 registrations with an expectation of 300 total, and cornhole has 25 registrations, and that should have closed on April 8th. I do want to have a call out. This is probably somewhere later in today's meeting, but I'd like to make sure it's covered, and that is after 32 years, Scott Niemeyer retired April 1st. from as a recreation supervisor, and most know him through the Corbin Art Center and all the fantastic things he has done there and everywhere with that team. And thank you, Scott, for your amazing contribution all these years. You will be missed. Just a couple of other things, just really quick here. Just might want to get some Play-Doh out. Okay. Wellness and enrichment, winter participation increased 230%. I thought that was worth noting, and that was over 2021. And let's see here. Sorry for the delay. Summer camp registration has opened, and just a couple of quick updates on the scholarship. SEEK scholarship, $12,213 has already been awarded to 31 children who may not have had the opportunity to participate otherwise. And among the various mediums being used, the SEEK scholarship is being advertised on social media as well as the Spokane website and both spring and summer activity guides. And then a shout out to the spring activity guide, went live on March 11th, and that guide has been viewed over 10,000 times with nearly 1,000 registrations and over $100,000 in gross revenues. So, and then there was some inserts placed in the utility bills as well as postcards to past participants and emails to Spokane schools, families, which included a 10% off promo coupon used to track marketing efforts. So just amazing things happening, and I wanted to share a couple of those, and I apologize to anyone where I might have left out your group or information. There's just so much to cover, but thank you everyone for all you do for the rec group. Our next meeting will be May 4th, Wednesday, May 4th at 5:15, and I believe we're still going to be WebEx.
And you still want Jason to say a few words? Is that right?
Thanks for that. I'm sorry. And then the other very important topic, Jason has so kindly offered to share. He's been giving this presentation, I think he did for the Finance Committee. So thank you, Jason. I'll turn this over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sally. Very quick and high level. At Rec Committee, what was discussed, and this was a discussion item, not an action item, we have tired turf out at Dwight Merkel, and this is sports turf. It was put in 2009. It's lived its useful life. It is due for a replacement. I think we're in our 14th year of using it. With that, in Finance Committee, we talked about awarding a contract in the future. We talked about the lending mechanism that would help. What Recreation heard and discussed was a new user fee for those users that use the turf in the form of a facility improvement fee. And to share real quick, I've just got one single slide that I think kind of capstones everything that Jennifer Papich did such a wonderful job sharing during the meeting. And let's see if I can get the right slide going here. I think it's this guy right here. Hopefully this is sharing okay and folks can see it. I can try to make it bigger if you like. Let's do that. There you go. The thought is to implement a new fee beginning in 2023. It would be a facility improvement fee for those using the sports complexes of Merkel, Franklin, and Southeast. It would be $5 per booking fee, which equates to 25 cents per person based on a 20-person booking average. Tier 2 fields would go up $1 an hour. Tier 3 fields would go up also $1 an hour. And our winter rate, which we actually use the synthetic turf in the winter, it's quite popular. It's, I think, the only synthetic fields available for rent in the wintertime in the Spokane area. We would increase the youth rate $10 an hour. Again, these are modest increases. We see this as the floor, not necessarily the ceiling, as we may need to increase these a little bit more if based on our guesstimates of how much revenue this would bring in. This is a similar model to what golf does, charging users to play golf, and that is paying off the loan for the golf improvements that Nick did a nice job of briefing on. So that is the nutshell of what was talked about. And I'll stop sharing here and see if there's any quick questions.
And these user fees go right back into that facility, so they are really specific to reinvesting right there, aren't they?
Correct, Jennifer. That is 100% correct. That's what we like about it is even though these fields are available for the public to get out and on and, nights and weekends at times when they're not being used, we know that the heavy use comes from our defined users that want to use the fields, either for activities that we put on in Parks and Rec or for organizations that need field space, and we're happy to provide that to them. Sally, how'd I do? Did I cover kind of the high level nuts and bolts of?
Yes, thank you so much. Anybody have any other questions on this? Is great stuff happening, and just good information to share early on. Any other questions? Thanks, Jason, for stepping in. All right, and I already announced we are meeting May 4th at 5:15 via WebEx.
Great. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Jason. Nick Sumner, Riverfront Park Committee.
All right. So Riverfront Park did meet earlier this week with what was probably the shortest Riverfront Park Committee meeting on record. We had no action items. We did see the dog park update that Barry presented to you all earlier. And then John did just an update of things going on in Riverfront Park, and I won't hit all of it. You can feel free to go see the minutes, but there's a number of maintenance items going on in the park currently, including the Red Wagon and a replacement of the electronic sign, I believe, by the Red Wagon, which will be very cool. He's anticipating, or John's staff is anticipating, up to 10 concerts in the park this year, so definitely going to be some more announcements coming very soon. The North Suspension Bridge is finally open to public use, so I don't know if the water is going to be quite as cool as it has been, after melts in the past, but it's definitely worth going down and be able to utilize both bridges while the South Bridge is still open, knowing that we are trying to get some repairs done to that bridge in the future as well. Andrew Willis, who's been in the interim park ranger supervisor role, is actually made permanent park ranger supervisor, so that's very cool. He's done a very good job down there in the interim role, and look forward to him continuing into that role. And there's some upcoming events, including an Easter egg hunt for the kids, so please come down once the snow goes away and head down to Riverfront Park and take advantage of all the cool stuff that's going on down there. Our next meeting will be Monday, May 9th at 4 p.m.
Great. Thank you, Nick. All right, Mr. Anderson, Finance.
I suppose I better start by unmuting. The Finance Committee met Tuesday, April 12th at 3 p.m. We did have one action item that was approved and passed forward to the full board review today, and I believe Fiona is going to do the presentation on that, so please take it away, Fiona.
Bob, I'll share my screen here for a brief presentation. This is a packet of naming opportunities that has been brought through our Development and Volunteer Committee, our Finance Committee, and now, as Bob said, is here at board. And the goal is really to share with you a list of all of the different assets that could be available for naming sponsorship. So it's places, programs, projects, equipment. We're trying to create a very comprehensive menu of things that could be named. Certainly not all would be. We're very thoughtful and conscious around that, as you are, but the idea is that we have a menu to work from. And the naming of places and features would, of course, follow the sponsorship and naming donation policy that this park board updated in 2017. A quick reminder of that policy: it relates to naming for features, facilities, and parks. As part of the city charter, it doesn't relate to events or programs like our 4th of July fireworks, for example. The criteria and process are outlined in that policy, And the park board does have required approval when assets have a contract dollar value greater than $20,000 and I believe this is now 3 years instead of 5 based on city legal, but we're confirming that. And then any place that is already named would not be available for renaming unless park board desired to do that. So if the park board is amenable to this list, then our next steps would be a staff team that would work to determine which of these assets make sense to potentially coordinate in-house, many of which we already are, and what would be best suited for a professional consultant. And we really look to that consultant to do expertise around pricing, structure, and approach, and then to build and sell those packages and find those sponsors on our behalf. That would likely be for those higher dollar value items. If there are any questions, Garrett and I would be happy to answer them.
Well, if no questions, thank you, Fiona. I know one thing that it took me maybe a few presentations to realize what we're doing is defining possibilities, not restructuring process of any type. And I think certainly you've made that very clear through the process. We're not changing the process on how we do naming rights. We're just looking for possibilities. So thank you. If no questions, then I will move to approve the list of assets available for sponsorship naming opportunities that was presented by Fiona. Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Thank you, Nick. Any further comments then or questions? If not, we will put it to the vote. All those in favor, respond with aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, that passed unanimously. Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you.
Mark Buenig presented the March and year-to-date 2022 financial reports. And through the first quarter of 2022, Parks has generated an 11% operating revenue gain compared to the first quarter of 2021. Operating expenses, primarily supplies required by our expanded program activity and increasing utility rates, have resulted in net income very similar to last year's. So we had the large revenue gain, but the expenses have maintained it similar to last year, which is a good thing. We had a very good, solid first quarter last year. So the next finance meeting is scheduled for May 10th at 3 p.m., and that will be via WebEx.
Thank you, Bob. Well phrased as always. Why don't you slide right into development and volunteer?
All right, I shall do so. The DVC met Thursday, March 17th at 3 p.m. via WebEx. And with the addition of Rick Romero as a community member at large, the DVC had only one board member slot to fill. Since that meeting, Christina has been appointed to the park board, and we are very happy that she has decided to be the park board, fill that final park board slot on the DVC. Christina has been with this group since its inception and has been very involved with Friends of Riverfront. And not to put you on the spot, Christina, but would you be willing to share some thoughts with us regarding this?
Sure. Well, it's just lovely to meet everyone finally and see all of your faces. I've had the opportunity to work with several of you and meet several of you. So just looking forward to continuing the partnership and continuing the great work. And please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help or contribute in any way I can.
Thank you, Christina. And we could not have acquired a better park board member to fill that slot. So thank you very much. The DVC members agreed to the third Wednesday of each month as an established meeting time. I know as we were filling up the slots, we kind of would go to Pamela each month and say, could you find another time opening for us? And finally, we've gone ahead and agreed to this. And so the third Wednesday of each month will be the agreed upon time. Providing support and access to community groups, it's one of the foundational pillars of the DVC. And Friends of and other community groups have plans that they need help implementing. and the DVC working with the CAC, we've started discussions with Trevor Finchamp, Friends of the Bluff, to review and assist with his group's plans. So Kelly, I think you were going to further talk about that and perhaps some of the other thoughts on the CAC. And Kelly Brown is our DVC member and CAC chair. So Kelly, if you would take it away.
Thanks, Bob. We had our last meeting in March, and we talked about the process of bringing project ideas up through the DVC, as Bob said, Friends of the Model. And aside from that, there wasn't much discussion. Our next meeting will be the 4th Thursday of April, and nearly all of our positions on the committee are full.
Thanks, Kelly, and thanks for all that you do. So the next DVC meeting is going to be Wednesday, April 20th at 3 p.m. And Pamela, you no longer need to take polls when we're going to meet. Thank you.
I think you just made Pamela's day, Bob. All right. So under my president's report, I just wanted to say again, welcome to Christina, and I also wanted to correct what the paper said about her bringing the millennial perspective. Certainly she does that, but we also have Hannah, who brings that millennial perspective, and then I had another park board member say, gee, I feel old. So don't feel that way, because you're all valued for all of the decades of experience that you bring, whichever decade you belong to. So this is a great park board with a lot of depth and talent, and I think Spokane's very lucky to have it.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Having said that, April 28th, as you know, is our special City Council Park Board Joint Study Session. And before that, about a half hour before that begins at 11, we have a 10:30 quick Park Board meeting. I promise it will be quick. It's just a quick little financial matter we need to vote on. I wanted to talk about process for the City Council Park Board Joint Study Session. What I'd like to do is give ample opportunity for dialogue between council members and park board members, rather than it being just a city council sitting there and get fed information from committees. I want this to be more of an exchange of ideas and posing questions and brainstorming solutions. So in order for that to happen, I need to give you all homework. And your homework is to write up a short committee report about your committee to be turned in the week before, so that the city council members can read that, but we're not actually going to have you deliver committee reports verbally. They'll be delivered on paper, and then maybe as we go around the room and I can introduce each of you, you can give a 3-minute, either highlight what's really important or something that's of a concern to you that you want to be discussed in a brainstorming situation, or update if you have new information after the report was submitted. But keep it really short, 3 minutes, so that we have the maximum amount of time for conversation, dialogue, real give and take. Is that all right with everybody? Well, if I don't hear any, okay, then we'll adopt that process. So, on to Conservation Futures, Nick Sumner.
We did not meet, and I have no updates for this meeting.
All righty. I know Barb Ritchie is sort of en route. She's multitasking today. Barb, I think you said you didn't have anything really to update. And I think she's not actually on the call anymore. So we will assume that's the case. All right. Councilmember Bingle.
All right. Okay. So we had, on our council agenda, we deferred the decision to make the 20 miles an hour at parks. We deferred that decision. So that'll come up, of course, again, but we have not made a decision on that. We had a couple other things that happened. We approved something that was requested of us from the Parks Department to appropriate $1.3 million in Fund 1400 and transfer it to Fund 1950 for the Capital Improvement Program and Capital Reserves. We did approve providing an additional $133,000 in the Park 1400 Fund for the SEAT grant, which is Summer Experiences and Enrichment for Kids. And I'll be honest, there was a lot of excitement about this particular program at City Council, and so we're excited to see how that works out. And then the other thing that will come before us is the increase in the estimated construction costs for the Don Cardone Bridge. And so I've talked with a number of City Council members on how to fund it, and if we could increase the ARPA ask from the $750,000 to the full $1.5 million for the increased cost. And I think about half of the City Council is on board for that particular ask, but the majority are on board for the increased $1.5 million to get that project done. So that should be encouraging to the board, and I think that's everything I've got for you.
Wow, you're like Santa Claus today. Thank you, sir. Way to bring it to the board. We really do appreciate the partnership of the City Council. Bridges are so expensive that had we, I think I've said this before, but had we had to fund the whole repair, given the increased cost, steel has gone literally up 100% in cost because of all of the COVID issues and supply chain issues. So had we had to do that all on our own, there would be nothing left to address any park needs throughout the city.
Yep.
So this is so important, and we really value your help there. We really thank you. Mr. Jones, I know he's on the phone. He's had some connection issues. Can you say anything, Garrett?
You hear me okay? All right, perfect. Well, if you can hear me, good afternoon, and great park board meeting. And I just want to also welcome Christina, and it's been a pleasure to work with you on the DVC side, and looking forward to a great future here on the park board side. And we've had some great conversations and love the direction and some of the questions and thoughts that you will bring to the park board. Also, our one and only Mark Gardner is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame by the Pacific Northwest Golf Association and the PGA Northwest Sectional here April 23rd. So congratulations to Mark Gardner. And I also, too, want to congratulate Scott Niedermeyer as well for his long service. And it's amazing how common and dedicated these parks and recreation employees are for the city. There's a lot of 30-year plus employees, 25-year employees with the city, and very dedicated and love the jobs that they do every day. I'm also over here today, made a quick trip to support our great staff that are at the Washington Recreation and Parks Association here in Bellevue today. So that's where I traveled today, and supporting our president, Jennifer Papich. As she will end her presidency this year and hand over the baton, but Jennifer has done a great job representing Spokane and Washington in the recreation field, and really appreciate all her leadership in that area. And then also super excited, I know the park board would have said, really super excited with the press release going out for project and all the partnerships. I mean, I think this is what we're with working with the Spokane Public Libraries, the City Council, in the ARPA funds that were provided. The 1.1 million Hooptown USA. My report. And sorry if I'm a little choppy, but.
All right. Well, thank you. When you're long distance and you're on the phone, sometimes these things can't be helped. So anyway, congratulations to Jennifer Papich and all of the hard work of the team. Speaking of teams and hard work, we have Fiona to give a marketing report.
Oh, apologies, Jennifer. That's just an informational item. No report to go with it. Thank you. Oh, Jennifer, I think you're muted.
Thank you. This is why we have more than one person on this team. All right, so is there anything else for the good of the order? Hearing nothing, I guess we will call the meeting at 4:45. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Great meeting. I will see you all at the City Council study session, and before that, for a half hour at 10:30 for a very quick Park Board meeting. Don't forget your homework. Thank you.